look toward the bluff over there. That's Graffin Reed Bluff. Now let me give you a little background on Jack Hinson. Well, Jack Hinson was a prominent, wealthy landowner and farmer in what they called Bubbling Springs area near Dover. When the war started, he was, I'd say, independent. He was non-committal. He wasn't committed to the South or North. He was against secession. Well, back during the time, the Civil War, after Fort Donelson fell, well, the guerrillas and bushwhackers were real active in this area. So the patrols would come out of Fort Donelson, and a lot of them were attacked by these bushwhackers, and many of them were killed. Well, Jack Hinson had several sons. Well, two of his youngest sons, one 21 and one 17, were hunting one fall morning in the fall. I guess they were deer hunting, turkey hunting, maybe squirrel hunting. But then this Union patrol out of Fort Donelson came upon them, and being they were there and had rifles, they accused him of being bushwhackers or guerrillas. Well, back then, they didn't have a trial or anything. They just tied them to a tree and killed them. Well, they drug their bodies on behind horses through, to make an example of them, through Dover. Then they decapitated them. They took their heads and they put them on the gate post going into Jack Hinson's place. Well, that was it. Jack Hinson then became bitter, of course, and rightfully so. And he swore to avenge his son's death, brutal murders. So he had a special made sniper rifle. It was a gigantic gun, weighed 18 pounds, but it was accurate up to 500 yards. Well, on this bluff right up here, there was a cave about 20 some odd feet down below the crest of that bluff. And this is where he set up and hid in that cave. Well, right about where we are in here now is where the river channel ran. It was squeezed down because of an island called Towhead Island. Well, there was a chute that went but close to the riverbank over here. It was called Towhead Chute. Now, as these boats would come up the river and hit this chute where it was squeezed down, they could only travel just very slowly. And so he could pick his targets without any problem. Well, he would sit there, and as these boats would come by, he usually picked the officers. So after the war, he was a hunted man. They had rewards out there, had many men out looking for him, but they never found him. Nobody ever reported him. Well, through the war, he like I say, killed an estimated 100 with his sniper rifle. And he, after the war, they had burned his home and destroyed everything that he had in Bubbling Springs. So he and his family, what was left of them, moved to Magnolia, which is up White Oak Creek. And 1874 is when he passed away. But when he started his, to get revenge for the death of his sons, he was 57 years old. And back then, you know, that was kind of an old man. So he survived the war, but they never, and he was hunted the rest of his life, but nobody ever turned him in.